Welcome.
Greetings and welcome.
Today's Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. That is Blake Walley, and my name's Brian Engelman, and this is the Agree to Disagree show on the New American Media because the old American media has failed you. Well, Blake, it happened.
Yep. It sure did.
All of the buildup finally went through Iowa, finally had a chance for the people to say what the people were going to say. And let's just jump into the number one topic today, shall we? All right, the caucus has caucused. And now Blake, agree or disagree that Donald Trump is going to win the 2024 election in a landslide?
Well, that all depends, but I think he should take the Republican nomination in a landslide. And of course, he did take Iowa in the landslide. So yes, we can speculate all we want. We can look at all the polls we want. But last night, it became official in Iowa, and we actually had real numbers. And that was very clear and obvious that Trump is the front runner by far. And there's probably more to come. But as far as getting into the, battling whoever the Democratic nominee is going to be, will it be a landslide? Potentially. If we had, voter integrity, and it was like literally going to be the most secure election ever. Everything was absolutely transparent, no doubt about it. We can agree on the results. Then I do think he would win in a landslide. If it was voter ID, no mail-in BS, paper ballots, totally accountable, poll watchers, make sure that this week we can all agree at the end of the day, no matter what, that we have to accept the results of the election without question. I think Trump wins without question.
I was watching a video, Blake, and I can't place it. I can see it in my mind's eye. I don't think it was Iowa. It could have been, but I'm thinking it was like in Korea or somewhere, and it was where you walk in and you write your name on, you write the candidate's name on a piece of paper, and there's three people there. So they empty out the box, they look at it, they read it, they hold it up for all three people to see it and agree on it, then they put it in a stack. Like, that's voting. That's voting. It's simple, basic, triple checked. You put it in a stack, and you can double count the stack. That's it. I don't know how anybody could trust these machines, we're just going to pause in the middle of the night, and then boxes may or may not appear. Oh, there may or may not be a water main leak. Like, that's not voting. That's not voting. That's, hey, let me show you a way that I guarantee you cannot trust whatever the outcome is. All that stuff is shady. Write it down on a piece of paper, show two people. You got a Republican, a Democrat, an independent. All three sign off on it. You put it in three stacks, and then you can recount the stacks. It's super easy. It's super easy if you do it that way. And yeah, it's that timeless classic quote, it doesn't matter who you vote for. All that matters is who counts the votes. So, I did see that awesome graphic, Blake, that I sent over to you. It looked like President Trump won every single county in Iowa, right? That's
all 99
rare or unprecedented.
Yeah, it could be. I heard maybe Nikki Haley won one county by one vote. I don't know if that's true, but I'm also hearing reports that he won all 99 counties of Iowa, which I think is unprecedented. And that's pretty huge because he really didn't campaign that hard in Iowa. He's got all kinds of other obligations. Some of the other candidates had more time and energy, and they needed to put in that time and energy to make sure that they can speak to everybody and get on the ground running. It's a good strategy.
And by the way, to this real Vec, yes, this show is live. We are live.
Okay, well, I guess we're on Kick, right? Yes. We're on a few of the alternative platforms besides YouTube and Twitter. So,
Blake, don't you have a stinger to show people where they can follow the Agree to Disagree show?
Oh, I
in the New American Media?
do. Let me see if I can pull
We
that
need to do a voiceover for it to match up. We need to record a 7-seconder.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Boom. Yeah, see, I thought that was going to play over us. We could be talking and just keep things rolling, and it'll just show, and then that'll be great. And then if people want to pause it, find stuff, because you're in a lot of different places. And then Brian, I pretty much just promote, the website and the Twitter X TV's Blake Walley. And then, we can just keep the flow going. Because Brian has so many different ones that it takes a while to go over all of them, including, Odyssey or Parler or what have you. So, in the multiple groups that Brian has on Facebook and Telegram, it's quite a spiel. So I was trying to make a graphic that would make an easy summary, make it easy. We could just keep the show flow rolling. But anyway, yes, we are on as well.
We might need to get like a 7-second audio explaining because if people are listening on the podcast, they're going, why did it go silent for 10 seconds? Did the show stop? They're checking all their stuff.
Yeah, that was supposed to be an overlay. So I don't know if I'll be able to run that. So it was an idea anyway. Or maybe we can run something on scrolling on the bottom along with the CISA and the WHO and the CDC stuff. We can also run just like a promo ticker as well and just mix it up. But it's a cool graphic, but maybe it's not going to work. But
no, we could if we could just attach. Is there a way to attach audio to it, or it's just we can't add audio?
The audio is just like there's little sound effects, which I kind of pulled out a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyhow, yes, good effort. I get where you're going, and I like that. We just got to kind of tweak it a little somehow. Maybe do a screen grab, and then I don't know. It's just a little extra post-production. But anyway, Blake, so either Trump won every single county in Iowa or every single county except for one by one vote. Either way, it was a pretty dominant performance. I would say I'm a little surprised at how low Trump's number was, although it's a blowout. It's a blowout win. I just thought it would be a lot higher than 51%. So what say you?
Really? I mean, it will be higher now that Vivek is dropped out. We'll get into in more detail. But he only got 78%. I think that was kind of a surprise. I thought he'd get a little bit higher than that. And he is one that went to like all 99 counties and campaigned, which is an admirable effort. But he fell short, finished a distant fourth. And so Trump will get those votes. I'm surprised Nikki Haley did as well as she did. Would she get like 19 or 20%?
Okay, so hold on, pause there. So what happens if Vivek drops out, then he gives those 7% to Trump because he's endorsing him? Are you saying that's how that works?
Well, I think those people will vote for Trump. I think those were, people that are part of the MAGA. I don't know if they're going to go. They're definitely not going to go for Nikki Haley, and they're probably not going to go to DeSantis, but maybe 1 or 2% could. I think Trump is going to make at least another 5% out of those Vivek votes. So, and if I was in Iowa, and as much as I want Trump to win, I could have voted for Vivek just to make a showing. So who knows? I think a lot of those people, that's what they were doing.
Oh, so maybe that 20%, they weren't Republicans anyway. They were just an anti-Trump vote.
No, I'm just saying out of the Trump votes, some of those people voted for Vivek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't think, I don't think there's compatibility, especially with Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is clearly the old guard, rhino, neocon establishment, military industrial complex. So there's no one's going to move votes from Trump or Vivek to her. But we shall see.
Well, let's walk through it. What do we want to talk about first? There's a few different angles we have here. I'm not sure what stories you have in your stack. By the way, Blake's website that he was mentioning, but he didn't give you the address, was thenextlevelnews.com. That's where he's archived. And of course, at TV's Blake Walley. All right. So what historic takeaways, Blake, do we have from this win in Iowa for President Donald J. Trump?
Yeah, 6 historic takeaways. Donald Trump claimed a huge victory in the Iowa caucuses, cementing his place as the prohibitive favorite in the race for the Republican presidential nomination. But it wasn't a total loss for others, as Ron DeSantis claimed second place, and Nikki Haley finished third. So Trump's big win by 51%, establishing his dominance in the race. Former president consistently polled around 50%. Okay, and finding that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has dismissed as misleading. Yeah, they were freaking out that it was rigged polls, or they were also upset for the media outlets to project Trump as the winner so soon, when I think it became pretty obvious from the exit polling results. So they were pretty delusional about how successful they would be, and you can't argue at the end of the day with the numbers there. And I don't think there was anything shady like there was in 2012, when it seemed like Ron Paul won. There was some, I forget, going back into the day with Karl Rove and doing some of the shenanigans with the voting. But side issue, at the end, the voters slightly exceeded the polling in their preference for President Trump, who mounted a formidable ground game. Let's see, there's an early call for Trump, multiple media outlets. They were upset on the DeSantis camp. The media is in the tank for Trump, and this is the most egregious example yet, claimed the communication director, Andrew Romeo. So after some of the calls were made, cast media. So what else do we have? Vivek bowing out, but also backing Trump. So that's interesting. That was a surprise. I thought Vivek was going to go strong. But interesting that he was the one to duck out so quickly. But I think he sees the writing on the wall, and I know he doesn't want to upset Trump. And there was a controversy in the couple days leading up to the votes on Vivek versus Trump, and Trump calling him out on Truth Social, which we will also get to, as also with the many of the influencers attacking each other, all of the MAGA infighting to a degree. Anyway, what else do we have? Haley's path an open question. As the night wore on, President Trump retained a strong lead over Haley and DeSantis. But the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations may have done better than the big map suggests. So let's see. The big question the results mean for Miss Haley. In some respects, the next few primaries may look favorable to her, especially with South Carolina, as she was the former governor. That's kind of where Joe Biden picked up his momentum, because he looked like he was dead in the water in 2020 against 16 other candidates in the Democratic field. Biden did not do well in Iowa or New Hampshire, but he was strong.
Well, he didn't do anywhere. He didn't do well anywhere because he's a child sniffing, gross, corrupt, plagiarist, traitorous criminal. The guy, running around, starting World War III, money laundering through Ukraine, and raising that degenerate son and showering with his daughter. Like, nobody likes Joe Biden. Nobody's ever liked Joe Biden. It's not that he picked up steam. It's that the DNC does something that the RNC refuses to effing do. All they have to do is circle the wagons, pick your person, and go dominate your opponent instead of infighting and backstabbing each other. With all of your capital, with all of your energy, running around like Haley, Ramaswamy, and DeSantis have a snail's farts chance of even coming close to second place. They don't. The Democrats, they all dropped out. That's what happened. That's how Joe Biden got his momentum, if you will. The fix was in. Pelosi runs it like a mafiosa boss, and she does what you're supposed to do. She does what Ronna McDaniel absolutely either cannot or will not do. She should have strong-armed these people into being out of this race before it even started. The resources that have been squandered and wasted in this pointless primary, it's just mind-boggling. The only way this makes any sense, Blake, is if the entire point of having Mike Pence and all these nobodies in there is just to soak up the rhino money and flush it down the toilet. If that's the point, then fine, you succeeded in your purpose. Otherwise, take a cue from what the Democrats do best. They defend their dumbest members to the bitter end. They have at least loyalty among thieves. I know there's not supposed to be such a thing, but the Democrats show you every year They will just lie to your damn face all day long. All day long. And they will defend the most corrupt and guilty amongst them. They will piss on your leg and tell you it's not raining. The Republicans just refuse to win. They refuse to dominate. They refuse to do what it takes to take out an opponent, because it sure as hell starts to seem like the Republicans, the rhinos especially, are not any different than the Democrats in general. And it makes you wonder if they're not intentionally sabotaging the entire party. And that's where I land on this, Blake. Trump is a MAGA party. He's not a Republican. He's a New York Democrat who ran on the Republican ticket, so be it. But he's not Republican. He's MAGA. MAGA is now the Republican Party. There is no more Republican Party. It's been absorbed into MAGA. And if you have Republicans like Kevin McCarthy and Mitt Romney and Liz Cheney, with Republicans like that, who needs Democrats? You know, with Democrats like that, who needs Republicans? However you want to phrase that. So I don't know. I just you mentioned when Biden got momentum. He never got momentum. The mob boss spoke and everybody stepped in line. Pete Buttigieg stepped aside and goes, "Hey kid, I know you got nothing to do with transportation, see, but we're gonna set you up with one of them sweetheart deals, yeah? Yeah, we're gonna make you transportation secretary, see? So just go ahead, step aside, or else something bad will happen to your boyfriend, see? Yeah." And that's what they did. They ran it like a 1920s mob boss movie, and it worked. I mean, yeah, if you believe it worked. I don't think it did. But that being, I wonder if you have that poll. 68% of Iowans don't believe the results of 2020, which was an incredible stat that MSNBC shared. Maybe because they think it makes Republicans look bad. I don't think so. I think it just makes Iowans look smart, despite the fact you had that racist lady over there complaining about white conservatives, white Christians. I mean, she's got I don't know. She doesn't have a bone in her body if it isn't a racist bone in her body. Like whoever that lady is that dyed her hair white to appropriate another culture and has the gall to say, she was the one that got into college because she said she was an affirmative action.
Are we talking about Joy Reid? I'm not 100%.
Yeah, Joy Reid, right? Didn't she publicly say that if it wasn't for affirmative action, she wouldn't have made it to college? Am I confusing her with another pundit on MSNBC?
It could be. She's always been controversial and not for like very good reasons. And it's always like, blatant racism. She's just bad news all around. And yeah, she made headlines, this morning already by freaking out about MSNBC. Well, we'll get to those.
I know we got all of these stories are converging at once. So I'm trying to pull upon the spokes that are all reaching together in the middle of the story. And anyway, I'll back off. It set me off on a rant because if you're gonna be in the Republican race, be in it to win it. Be in it to dominate those idiots on the other side, the traitorous people in the deep state that are trying to flush this country down the toilet. Stop fighting each other. Haley, you have no chance. DeSantis, you have no chance. Pence, are you friggin' kidding me? And Vivek, hey, nice to meet you, but like, fall in line, pal. Mike Dentz, yes, that's nice.
Well, that'll be something we'll get into is what do we think of Vivek's future. But as far as I know, obviously Haley has to stick around for South Carolina. And if she bombs there, then it's over. If she can't win the state where she was the governor of, then it's time for her to drop out and plan her next thing. Whether is she going to go Democrat, as some have speculated? I don't know. That sounds bizarre. But I have a feeling she's going to try to hang around. But and then we'll see what happens with DeSantis. So, but she's already we'll get into it again. There's so many different stories that are going to be blurring together.
So many angles here, Blake. There's 100 different ways to take it. Actually, if I could pause for just a second, I do want to loop around and wrap this up because.
Yeah. Go back to the other one.
Okay, this is playing, but I didn't press play. Hold on.
I don't even see it. Have you pulled it up?
No. I didn't press play. I had it on pause and it just auto played. This is where having a Jamie would be so helpful. But we'll get a Jamie. We'll get a producer. I swear to you. All right. Yeah, but this is what I was referencing a moment ago, and I just wanted to loop around and put a bow on this one here. This is Joy Reid, the least joyous person I know.
No, she's not as bad.
What'd you say, Blake?
Seems my connection is pretty lousy. My Elon satellite connection is struggling here in the winter conditions here. Who knows? Maybe I add more snow on the satellite dish here.
Yeah, you got to go out with your hair dryer. No, you were saying she's not as bad as.
I actually think Joy Behar is worse than Joy Reid. I don't know, but they are two of the worst people on the entire leftist media. Are both named Joy. It's very weird.
I know. It's the simulation winking at us. Okay, so this is her in her own words.
Well, let me just be clear. I got into Harvard only because of affirmative action.
Okay, there you go. Yep. She only got into Harvard because of affirmative action. But by the way, anytime someone says, "Well, let me just be clear," that's that Corinne Jean-Pierre. It's that intro where you just know something awful is about to happen. It's like they went to the same school. Well, let me just be clear.
Well, let me just be clear. I got into Harvard only because of action. I went to a school no one had ever heard of in Denver, Colorado, in a small suburb. I didn't go to Exeter or Andover. I didn't have college test prep. I just happened to be really nerdy and smart and have really good grades and good SAT scores. But someone came to Denver, Colorado to look for me. A Harvard recruiter flew to Denver, and I met up with her at the Village Inn restaurant and did a pre-interview to get to pull me into Harvard. I was pulled in, and the schools like Harvard and Yale that I got into affirmatively. Yes. And it was literally not saying we're going to take an unqualified person and put them in Harvard. Yes. We're going to take a very qualified person who we would never know existed and put them in Harvard. That's how I got there. That's how Ketanji got there. That's how Jackson got there. It's how Clarence Thomas got there.
There you go. So I was right to remember she did have that soundbite. It was because of affirmative action that she got into Harvard. Yeah. Okay. All right. I just wanted to bookend that.
No, she's always controversial and always for the wrong reasons. And she's definitely in the headlines today, along with Maddow. Well, let's see. Let's pull this one up. I think this is also part of the just pull up. All going to be blurring together. Great results because of Christian. So here we go. MSNBC's Reid laments white Christians giving Trump the landslide victory. Let's see. Let's pull up.
But, I feel like the important sort of data point, and Steve talks about it a lot. He's going to probably talk about it a little more tonight, is that these are white Christians. That this is a state that is overrepresented by white Christians that are going to participate in these caucuses, especially tonight. Earlier today.
What does overrepresented mean? She wants to get rid of white Christians while she's there doing the cultural appropriation thing by dyeing her hair blonde. Like, are we literally living in a world where this is happening? Where she's guilty as sin of cultural appropriation, and then she's lamenting that it's overrepresented. There's too many whites, there's too many Christians. Is this really happening at the same time? Or is this just the simulation winking at us, Blake?
I don't know. I kind of want to think it is just a simulation, or this is a bad dream we'll eventually wake up for. Because it was like, oh my God. Yeah, we're just messing with you, dude. Like, when are you going to wake up? But no, this seems to be the reality show, the horror show that is become our reality now, Brian. I don't know.
And didn't she say this stuff on Martin Luther King Jr. Day? Wasn't that the holiday yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, isn't that the day where it's like we're supposed to judge a human being by the content of their character, not the color of their skin? And she's all lamenting. She's all huffing and puffing that there's too many white Christians participating in a vote in our nation. I mean, where does she get off on MLK Day wearing that hair, talking trash about white Christians?
Well, she doesn't have any shame, so she's just a stormtrooper for the DNC. Yeah, she's very smart, but she is just like sociopathic. All she cares about is her career and making controversial headlines. And I'm surprised she's still there, but she probably pulls out the race card every time they think about, God, we got to get rid of this lady. She's toxic. But they can't, because then who who knows what she's going to do to retaliate. But yeah, she's just bad news, and they need to get rid of her. But whatever, this is they want it. They like this road, so they're already on it. They got to run with it, especially for this campaign season. So they'll continue to put that out. Maybe that gets ratings. I don't know, but yeah, it also gives us something to laugh about.
That is true. Do you want if you want to go ahead and play? Oops, sorry. If you want to play the rest of that clip, there. Sorry, I just.
She says no. I
jump
in wherever you want.
In the middle of a clip. I just got to start.
Yeah,
trying to say what in the actual F is going on.
Yeah, I wonder if she knows what she's saying. Like, wow, did I just say that with a straight face? Sometimes she kind of smiles like she's just, doing it on purpose just to get a rise out of people. I don't know what's going through her mind. She's a strange lady, very highly narcissistic.
Reached out to Robbie Jones from the Public Religion Research Institute, knowing that we were going to talk about Iowa. And this is a hyper evangelical white state.
Hyper evangelical.
Hyper white state. I'm sorry. A hyper white state. Wow. Okay. It's a hyper white state.
And maybe it was in the 1950s, but come on now. It's 2023, lady. Give us a break. So 61% of white Christians, doesn't seem that high compared to demographics in the past when it would have been significantly higher. So, but yeah, there's still going to be other states. That's just one. So people are trying to get rid of Iowa as the first state because it's not a full representation. I guess maybe only the rest of the country is only 41% white Christians. I don't know exactly how that all breaks down, but that's
it makes you wonder why. Yeah, it makes you wonder why the party line of Obama and Mayorkas and MSNBC and all of the deep state is to replace white people. That they were on that board. They were talking about white residents, white citizens being replaced as the majority. And that's not a bad thing, says Joe Biden. We can pull up that video. That's not my words. This is their party saying it. They want to dilute the white people in America because they don't like the white people in America. They don't like Christians in America. The Democrats and the deep state do not like white Christians in America. Their words, their actions, their speeches, they're on video. This isn't us saying that. This is them saying that. It just makes you wonder what their grand plan is. Seems like something really nefarious is in the works, if you ask me.
Yeah, I totally agree. And they're just letting anybody come in over the border. And you can't even mention replacement theory because you're going to be some kind of extremist racist. It's amazing some of the things that they are putting out there to save themselves and to demonize white Christian Republicans. It's pretty crazy, pretty shameless, but here we are. So I think I'll probably bounce off of this topic, but I definitely wanted to point that out. But we'll see after South Carolina. I think that will be absolutely telling. By then we'll have.
And I'm just wondering, Blake, did I let her finish that last thought? I just keep talking over her. That must be my white privilege rearing its ugly head, or
white nationalists interrupting the black woman. Yep.
Yeah. What was the one? Nancy Grace. I know. I just can't think of anything but Nancy Grace, Nancy Mace. It's like, are you going to let a woman talk in Congress? So maybe I'm mansplaining too much. I'm jumping down Joy Behar's throat, Joy Reid. Did she have anything else to add to that wonderful hyper white nation comment? I'm sure it got better from there.
I doubt it. I mean, there's another minute of it if you want to sit through it.
Yes, let's go. Because this is what we're up against.
Okay.
Said the following to me. Iowa is about 61% white Christian. The country as a whole is approximately 41% white Christian. And in Iowa, we're talking about evangelical white Christians. And he said the following, because I asked him, what do they get out of supporting Donald Trump? Because he keeps losing, he keeps delivering losses and losses and losses. And he said the following.
Oh my God. She's
hold on. And the way she said, oh, and they're not just Christian, they're evangelical. So what the hell's wrong with the evangelical Christian lady? Man, she's got some splaining to do. Where is the Anti-Defamation League for white people? for Christians, for evangelicals? Where are the pit bull attack dogs to go after the MSNBC sponsors to put this racist up there with her dog whistle? We know what that dog whistle is. That's a dog whistle. She's going after whites and evangelicals and God-fearing people. Where are the people going after their sponsors? Sorry, Blake.
No,
what losses is she talking about?
No, I know she's delusional. We were giving her enough airtime as it is. It'd be a good debate, like her against like Mike Huckabee or something. Just two like very polar opposites having the discussion. I don't think she wants that though. She likes to, spew her stuff onto where she can never be challenged. In her little comfort zones of MSNBC. But yeah, it's outrageous what she is saying.
Kenneth B in the comment section, he starts saying, "I'm dreaming of a white Christian." And by the way, if you guys haven't been to youtube.com/the New American Media, go there and go all the way back. Our channel might have actually started, or within our first 10 videos was a sit-down interview with Mike Huckabee talking about music and such at the NAMM convention in Anaheim. So yes, yeah, that'd be great. Huckabee versus Joy Reid. That would be very interesting. Or even Sarah Huckabee Sanders versus Joy Reid. All right, let's let her continue. Let me just shut up and let her.
Okay, we got giving her way too much airtime. All right, I'll let it run one more time, and we got to bounce because we got plenty of other
things. They see themselves as the rightful inheritors of this country, and Trump has promised
rightful inheritors of this country. What a joke!
To give it back to them.
Like it's just like an exclusive club, like a white only, an old like golf club or something. Like, are you kidding me? This is the country club and only whites are allowed. Get out of here, Joy. Otherwise, she wouldn't even be on TV. What the hell is she complaining about? She's just awful. There needs to be pushback on this lady.
All the things that we think about electability, about, what are people gaming out, or none of that matters when you believe that God has given you this country, that it is yours, and that everyone who is not a white conservative Christian is a fraudulent American.
Wow. This is what she actually believes, though. She wants to believe that. That makes her feel like she's like on the good team.
Is a less real American, then you don't care about electing.
That's all we got on that one. So, but she's got more. There's more, but not on this one. We'll bounce. Brian, did you have a final thought?
No, keep it rolling. We're keeping it tight today.
Okay.
Quick 90-minute show.
Well, we've got, let's just bounce around on a couple of other little side issues. Interesting.
Oh, I did like seeing that. This Frank Luntz, I did catch that as well. He is shocked. He is gobsmacked.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pollster, and he should know. But I mean, maybe he's got his own cooked numbers, and he, believes what he wants to, or he has his own little select, demographics that he actually looks at. But once the final numbers come in, you have to accept those results. And the writing's on the wall here. He says he thought he was done, but Trump will win. Thought he was done after January 6th and the impeachment, but can now barely bring himself to admit that Trump is likely to win the presidency. Let's roll a clip. I haven't even seen this clip yet.
You had to bet $150,000.
And you know what, Blake? But before you let it run,
yeah.
It's not even what he says. Look at how he says it. Look at how deflated. I said gobsmacked. I think that's a pretty great way to say it. But yeah, just he's a body language expert. If you can full screen this for the viewers.
I'm not a body language expert, but I can tell right away. Yes,
right away he is. He's like droopy dog. Doop 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 doop.
Yep.
Can you full screen that for him?
I could. Here we go.
Who'd you bet on?
I never dreamed that I would say this.
Oh,
we missed the question.
Bet on Trump. I thought it was done. I thought it was over.
Because he's on Twitter with his own little bubble, and he believes he's smoking his own dope.
Come back from an impeachment.
And of course, he's also roomies with Kevin McCarthy. Which is
roomies.
Bizarre. Maybe roomie. They probably share the same room.
Right. Hold on. He's roomies with Kevin McCarthy?
Yeah, didn't you know that?
What are you talking about?
Pull it up. Let's see if it's still there. Yeah, pull it up while I'm running this clip, or I can.
They share a house. It's like The Odd Couple.
Yeah, in D.C. Yeah, they live together. Tucker Carlson pointed that out.
Look, I'll take your word for it.
All right.
But anyway, the question that we cut off at the very beginning was, if you had $1 million, I believe it was like, if you have $1 million, who would you vote on winning this election? And he goes, I can't, because it's a little quiet. I don't know if it can turn up a little
I
bit.
cannot, unfortunately. This is maxed out on this end. It's just not a good video.
Yeah, he just says, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I would vote for Trump. You don't come back from an impeachment. You did blah, blah, blah. But yeah, let him continue here.
All right, I'm going to start it over, and I'm going to look up that clip. All right.
You had to bet $150,000 on who's going to win in November.
Oh, for $150,000. Yeah.
I never dreamed that I would say this, but I would bet on Trump. I thought it was done. I thought it was over. You don't come back from an impeachment. You don't come back from January 6th. You don't come back from any of this. But he's come back. The guy's a survivor. And his opponent is having so much trouble that I would, at this point, give the edge to Trump.
There you go. Just a quick note. So yeah, that's the pollsters have to face the reality, and they don't like it. And yes,
and it's not just that Trump is a fighter, and it's not just he's coming back from this. It's that the American people see the bullshit. The American people see the deep state trying to kneecap him. Trump, a far from perfect human being, but he got a lot of stuff right. Some of the big picture stuff, some of the cultural stuff, a lot of important areas. He was the right CEO. A lot of times you hear people say, well, it doesn't really matter who's president. They're just a figurehead. They don't really do anything. But if anything, they are the spokesman for the country. And yes, they're out there negotiating foreign affairs. I just will forever appreciate that he's the only president in my lifetime not to drag us into some bullshit foreign conflict where our neighbors and family members and friends can die in. Like, I'm forever appreciative of that. By the way, Frank Luntz looks like he lost quite a bit of weight. I wonder if he's doing okay.
It's weird that he picked that old picture. I don't know where they got that from.
But that's what I remembered him looking like, kind of, on the beefier side. I didn't know he rented a room from McCarthy. Stayed at Frank Luntz.
I don't know. I mean, I don't care. I'm not judging, but I mean, people were calling that out, including Tucker Carlson. Like, what's going on? It seems like a conflict of interest.
But then it's also saying that to care for him. So maybe he is sick. Maybe there is something going on.
Maybe he's caring for him. What does that mean? So, yeah, why would he care for him? Oh, he's sick. Let me go help. Really? Or is it that they, have an affair? I don't care. Either way, I mean, be honest. That seems more believable than, oh, he was sick. Well, it's a Democratic pollster, whatever. Why would you even care?
Well, he's not a Democrat pollster. He's a GOP pollster. But that makes no sense. Oh, yeah, the third most powerful person in America needs to care for a pollster. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, huh? That makes no sense. Those are blinking red lights. Look, that's nice that he's being nice, but I assure you, the third most powerful, third in line for the presidency, president, vice president, speaker of the House. I am fairly certain you don't have time in your agenda to also care for a pollster, unless there's a different meaning of pollster. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if we want to know. All right, moving on. How about...
So we went through white Christian demographics. Let's move to brown skin from white skin, shall we? Since all MSNBC cares about is skin color because they're monsters and they should be starved of revenue.
Okay, let's go back to Joy Reid. Here we go. Let's got the caption up there. People didn't vote for Nikki Haley because of her brown skin.
Wait, vote for who?
So that's the agree to disagree. So why don't you answer? People didn't vote for Nikki Haley because she's brown because all of the 61% Iowa white Christian, with mostly evangelicals. Do you think that they really liked Nikki Haley, but they were like, she's brown. I can't vote for Brown, so I'm going to vote for Trump. I was actually saying, twisted fucking head, she believes this shit, but I don't.
I was actually looking for a little clarification, not for on the question, other than like, who is Nikki Haley? Is that the lady that wants you to go by your real name on the internet? Because if so, her name is Nimarata Nikki Rondahawa Haley. So I don't know who this Nikki Haley character that she's playing is. Her name is Nimarata. Right. Nikki Rondahawa Haley. So if she's not even going to go by her name, why should we even consider voting for her in a primary? Regardless, if she had purple skin, if she had camouflage skin, who cares? She's going by a different name. She's playing a character named Nikki. Her name's Nikki Nimarata.
Right, yeah, I got it. No, I know. She got called out on that by Vivek, which is one of the reasons I like what he does. So she has to be called out on those things. But do you think that people didn't vote for her? So, what percentage, Brian, if you had to throw it out there, of people, like, they really wanted to vote for Nikki Haley, they just couldn't make themselves vote for somebody who wasn't white?
Oh, about the white part, not the. See, I lived in a.
Okay, then we're not getting into the. I know her name. That's an old news story. That's not having anything to do with it. This is Joy Reid again, your favorite, saying that Nikki.
Blake, that wasn't the story you interrupted me on. This is a different story. That wasn't the. Right. You interrupted me from saying a different story. So hang tight.
Okay, go for it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I lived in Los Angeles in a black part of the city, and I had a neighbor, older gentleman, military guy, and he was talking about the 2016 election with me, and he was talking about people in his church and this and that. He goes to a black church, and it came time for Hillary and Trump, and he said, I'm not voting for Hillary. I'm like, well, yeah, why would anyone? He's like, yeah, I could never vote for a woman. I'm like, what? So it wasn't about her being awful, which she is. It was more, and it wasn't about her being white. It was about her being a woman. He just didn't think a woman should be running the country. So, I mean, there are percentages of people that have their preferences for various reasons. Giving a percentage is the people that what I don't know. There's so much to dislike about her for other reasons. But once again, there were a million things to hate about Hillary Rodham. But this guy was like, she's a woman, so I'm not going to vote for her. I'm like, wow. Or you could have just said she's awful and untrustworthy and dangerous and corrupt. I mean, woman is like the 30th thing down the list. I'm so far. I never looked at her as a woman. I looked at her as a monster. Demons don't have a sex. Demons don't have a skin color. Demons are just demons. And when you sell your soul to the military industrial complex, when you'll kill anybody in your way to get a position of power, you don't have a vagina. You don't have a skin color. You are a demon. And like, I don't know how anybody could get wrapped up in such a frivolous a frivolous component of the process. So I don't know how to answer that. A certain percentage. I don't think it's a.
That's fine. Yeah, 1 or 2% of extremists, people that are probably shouldn't have voting rights to begin with, in my opinion.
And now here's a question for the Joy Reids. How many black people will not vote for a white president? Do you think that number's lower or higher than the number of people in Iowa who didn't vote for Nikki Haley, Nimarata Haley, because she was brown? Do you think a higher percentage of black people will never vote for a white president?
It's possible. I'll bet Joy Reid is a lot more racist than most Iowans. How's that?
Oh, that's
that statement as well.
Succinct.
Joy Reid, nice. Big racist.
Yeah, big racist.
Okay. And she's always a race baiter. And she's always, yes. So
she's a master.
Absolutely.
A master baiter.
And thank you, Frankie, for the wonderful emojis. Unfortunately, they won't show up on Restream.
But I like reading fuchsia poop shape.
Purple, yes, fuchsia poop. We just imagine it in our heads.
I like how I go from master baiter to face fuchsia poop shape. Yeah, we're really running a tight-knit professional show here today, Blake, despite my best efforts.
Right. So Yes, we got a lot of people blacks that voted for Obama because of his skin color only. Yes, certain people do. That's it's totally normal. I guess it's understandable. It happens. But just getting back on this particular subject, though.
But by the way, not everybody can see our screen. For the podcast listeners, Rick Norman was saying if to finish that quote, it was if black people can vote for Obama just because of skin color, why can't he do the same? Why can't other people do the same? And if you read the polling data, that a lot of people were not ashamed to say something that racist out loud. They thought it was okay, and it's not. Like I said, you're a demon. You don't have a skin color. Like your soul is rotted. It's whatever color rot looks like. Doesn't matter what skin color and what genitalia you have. Military industrial complex stooge killing millions of people and enslaving others and destabilizing others and trying to overthrow the country. Like, yeah, you don't have a skin color. But anyway.
Right. Anyway, on the day after Martin Luther King Day, as you said, Brian, we're judging people by their character and not by their skin. But apparently, according to Joy Reid, she thinks that Haley lost, was significant, so lost by 30%, because she's brown. If she was just super white, I don't know, Anglo-Saxon, what is it, English Irish, she would have won. She would have beaten Trump. But because she's what's her name again, Brian? What's her Indian birth name? You
cut me off when I tried to say it. You don't like me saying
it. Just tell me the name. We don't. Right, we're getting sidetracked. All right, there you go. Okay, so she's saying it's the elephant in the room. She's still a brown lady that has to try and win in South Carolina, where she was governor, by the way. But she says it's a party that's deeply anti-immigrant. Again, not true. Probably anti-illegal aliens just invading over the border. But, who cares about the details? But let's take a look. Another one from the unhinged Joy Reid.
New Hampshire. And I think to the point that you made, Steph, I mean, it's the elephant in the room. She's still a brown lady that's got to try to win in a party that is deeply anti-immigrant and which.
I wonder if Nikki Haley goes about life thinking, gee, I wonder if these white voters are going to vote for me because I'm so brown. I think if they pulled all these Iowans and asked, what nationality do you think Nikki Haley is? And it was, white, black, or Hispanic, or Asian. I think most people would just assume she was white. So this is just ridiculous. But this is the kind of stuff that she cooks up in her own head and thinks other people think like her.
So we do not. So you think people would think of her as what, like how Joy Reid dyes her hair and culturally appropriates?
Maybe she's being disrespectful to whites. Is that what she's doing? I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to play that game, but it's weird.
It is. Weird.
I don't care. I'm not going to judge her on her appearance. I don't really care about that. But the content of her character sucks. She's just always bad news. So
Nikki Haley selling her soul out to the military-industrial complex is all you need to know. That's why she's not polling well in any state. This is President Trump's second term. It's here. It's already here. It's a done deal. It's a blowout. And shame on the GOP for allowing it to get this far. They should have never even had this dog and pony show in Iowa. So what? They did. Moving on. But I really want them to just circle the wagons and focus on taking out the deep state, because the deep state's in their own damn party too. But Nikki Haley, she's not doing well in any state because this is Donald Trump's term.
Well, we'll see. They get New Hampshire's next, and then South Carolina's number 3. That's the big one. If she does not do really, really well there, I think it's over.
It's already over. I don't know what she's waiting.
It's not over until South Carolina, Brian. There's 50 states. She's going to make the third one because that's her state. She was the governor there, and if the people reject her there, it's over.
How is she polling there today?
I have no idea. Well, we'll wait. It's probably in a couple of weeks. I don't have the the dates in front of me because yes, they do certain states, but Iowa's always 1, New Hampshire's 2, South Carolina's number 3, and if she doesn't do extraordinarily well, or at least as well as expected, it's done. She can give it up. So anyway, we'll run the rest of this clip here. Hold on.
Which accepts the notion that you can say immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. She's getting,
illegal aliens, not immigrants.
birthered by Donald Trump. And I don't care how much the donor class likes her, which will ramp up a lot the better she does in New Hampshire. So it's still a challenge. I don't see how she becomes the nominee of that party with Donald Trump still around. I can't picture it happening. Maybe it could happen. Ron DeSantis' only argument for staying in it is he's the white guy that he.
He's just going to stay there because they need a token white guy or something. God, she is so freaking delusional. It's amazing.
He can still make the appeal to white evangelists.
While we have
Make appeal to all the white Americans. Oh my God. She is so awful. Anyway.
She sure is, Blake. She sure is. Let me just pop this up on the screen. Yep. This is according to 538, just who's ahead in South Carolina. And once again, it's matching the national average. Trump is there north of 50% now, 52%. Haley, DeSantis in the 20s, the pointless 20s. I mean, it's over. Like there is no point in doing any of this. It's the same thing you're seeing in Iowa. It's not because there's evangelicals in Iowa. It's because it's over. It's because they should have never allowed them to waste these hundreds of millions of dollars stabbing each other in the back, trying to make each other slip on a banana peel when they should have been laser focused on taking out the deep state. And that's a Ronna McDaniel problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. She's bad news too, but they're representatives of the old guard that are still trying to cling on to their relevancy. But it's clear that MAGA is the future. They don't like it, but they're going to have to accept it. So they're going to try to shove DeSantis or Haley down our throat, but I don't think that's going to work. Unless they're counting on like Trump being, thrown in jail and unable to run. But I still think he would win even if he was in jail. I think that would make him even more popular. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough for them to deal with that reality, but the writing is there on the wall, and they have to face up to it. Look at Frank Luntz. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are like that. I'm sure Karl Rove was in a similar boat. He's just inconsolable, but who knows? But that's okay.
And by the way, we touched on this last week. The natural-born citizen in the governing documents of the Constitution that talk about the eligibility to hold office of president or vice president. It was intended to protect the nation from foreign influence. Natural-born citizen holding eligibility requirements established. That were Nikki Haley's parents both citizens when she was born in this country? Does merely being born in this country qualify you as a natural-born citizen? That is a legal definition, and that is a question that, frankly, to my understanding, has not been properly answered. It has not been fully, definitively ruled upon. So the fact that President Trump brought that up, what is the problem with discussing that? It's specifically designed to make sure that foreign interference and foreign inclusion into the United States policies is kept at arm's length. It's kept at bay. Well, if they were born here, were they born here just as the common nomenclature?
Yeah, we're not going to get too sidetracked here. She's bad news. I don't know, getting into the details of all of that, whether she's eligible or not. I don't care if she is. This is a good IQ test for the American public. Are you going to vote for a military-industrial complex puppet? And I'm surprised that she polled 19-20% there.
No, but I think it is important because that is one of the attacks that they are using against the clear frontrunner, the presumptive candidate for 2024. So let's cut the legs off of that one before it has any chance to swim. I'm mixing metaphors, but I think it is important. And if there are questions about her eligibility, I don't think it should be such a faux pas that it was mentioned. I think we need some clarification from the Supreme Court on the natural born citizen clause. So, I don't think that's going off track at all. I think that's something that they are going to keep saying. Oh, right, my gosh, how dare President Trump say such a thing?
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. We've covered that before. I'm not 100%. I'm not ready to, go down that road today. We're going to try to keep it. We only got a half an hour here, so we're going to try to stay on the track here. But speaking of Nikki Haley, let's see here. She does not have the MAGA support, never will. She's clearly a representative of the old guard. And now we got another question here, Brian, and we can pull up a quick. So should Nikki Haley suspend her campaign after a third finish? We got delusional Nikki Haley declaring it's now a two-person race after coming in third. What do you think she meant by that, Brian? Was that does she believe that Donald Trump is going to be in a prison cell and it's going to be her and Ron DeSantis? Because if it was just her and Ron DeSantis, I guess it would be a two-person race, and I wouldn't be able to tell you who's actually going to win between the two of them. It's like, but you can say the same thing. Who's going to finish second or third between her and Ronnie D?
Yeah, good question. By the way, Rick Norman is saying, I agree with you 100% on that immigration issue, Brian. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Nikki Haley. Of course that they think that they're going to put Trump in prison. Like, being indicted by the deep state is not legitimate. It's not legitimate. He can't practice. He can't run his company in New York because he took out a loan and paid off a loan, and there was nobody impacted by that. President Trump can't question the results of a ballot like every other political candidate of the past 200 years in Georgia. I'm sorry, what? Where they're hiring their boyfriends to come in and take money, and they're running only to go get Trump. It's a witch hunt, Blake. So, like, yes, they're trying to take him out. They're trying to kneecap him. But I mean, just her, and what do they think is going to happen to them? The Haleys and the DeSantises. If they turn on Trump and let the deep state kneecap him, are they so daft to think that they're not going to have the same thing happen to themselves, Blake? Like, are they really going along with this and they think that things will be just fine if they play the game?
Yeah.
Are they really that stupid?
Yeah, this is how it works. Unfortunately, this seems to be just human behavior. So they're going to cozy up to that. So they'll think they'll be protected. They'll go after all their political opposition and take them out. And then at some point, they're going to be turn on each other. But
I like that she slipped in this one. I like that she's already looking past Donald Trump as if he's not there. That's pretty funny. The memes on this need to be relentless, calling for her to drop out nonstop, because she came in third. It is a two-person race, and she's not DeSantis, so go sit down.
Oh yeah, no, it's already hilarious. So let's see. What do we have? I haven't seen some of these. Yes, well, it's just a GIF, but yeah, it's a two-person race. Okay, well, you finished third. What does that mean for you?
I can safely say tonight, Iowa made this Republican primary a two-person race.
Wow, is she dumb? Just completely self-unaware.
I can safely say. Can you play the beginning of that again? Yeah, I can safely say.
You just don't like her because she's brown.
Safely say tonight, Iowa made this Republican primary a two-person race.
What is that? It's almost like a threat. Like she's threatening Trump. Like he's going to be in jail from the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, I can safely say.
Yeah.
Bye, Nimarata, Nikki Randhawa Haley. Deuces.
Yep. So
she held up two fingers for deuces. She's leaving. Okay.
So anyway, agree or disagree? I am going to say disagree until South Carolina. That's her thing. So the third state, that tells us everything.
Yeah, and I agree that she should. No, I disagree. She should not suspend her campaign after a third. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Yes, I agree. She should suspend her campaign. I pulled up the polling. There is no difference. She sucks everywhere. Nobody likes her. She probably smells. She what are other reasons people dislike people that are not politically based?
Like
yeah.
What?
No, smells like a sold soul, like a purchased soul, like an emptiness. She has a God-shaped hole in her heart. I don't know. I'm not questioning her faith. I'm questioning her brain. So yeah, so if this is the Wizard of Oz, I'm not questioning her heart. I'm questioning her brain. So yeah, she should drop out immediately. And the GOP needs to put the screws to these candidates, and more of them need to pull a Vivek Ramaswamy. Read the writing on the wall. Read the room. Get out. Step aside for Trump and back Trump, or go join the Democrat Party and stop pretending. Enough.
All right, fair enough. Well, she might vote. That's one of the things they're worried about. Nikki Haley going third party or joining the Democrats, as Vivek has said. But we'll move on real quick. Agree or disagree, we should be heed the warnings by these liberal hosts about the rise of fascism. So
we should, because the deep state is the fascist group, and they need to be eliminated. The deep state Democrats need to be retired en masse.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but they are certainly in power still, and they are going to try to do anything to keep that. And we've got Biden responding to Trump's Iowa win, complaining about the extreme MAGA Republicans. And then, of course, we have the Rachel Maddow meltdown as the MSNBC cranks lose it after Trump's landslide. Like, they didn't see this coming because they like to believe their own BS. The evil clowns rant about fascism as they work to remove Trump from ballot. So let's try to run some of this. Here's Rachel Maddow. We'll just go through all the roundtable from all these crazy people saying crazy things.
It is not, if we are worried about the rise of authoritarianism in this country, we are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. If we're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government, the leader who is trying...
What the fuck is she even talking about?
She's talking about her own deep state overthrow in 2020 that Time magazine bragged about. They fortified the election. She's as guilty as sin, and Nuremberg 2.0 can't get her fast enough because she's complicit in it. That's what.
Yeah, okay, I would agree with that. I just don't understand what making America great again, or what do Trump Republicans have anything to do with authoritarianism and fascism? They're classic Americana. So I mean, I don't know what they're smoking, Brian. It's insane.
Trying to do that is...
But they legit believe this stuff. Well, there's Chris Hayes, little beta boy. He doesn't say anything.
Part of that equation. Mm-hmm. But people wanting that is a much bigger part of that equation. Right. And the American electorate is made up of two major parties. One of those parties has been flirting with extremism on the ultra-right for a very long time. They've brought them in a way that...
Yeah, on the left. I don't remember... did we jail a bunch of Antifa people and BLM people during the 2020 riots? I don't recall that. But I do remember all of the January 6th.
Should have.
Yeah, maybe we should have. But, gee, it seems like it's the Democrats who are trying to, election interference by taking Trump out, removing him from ballots, jailing his supporters without trials, without evidence. After January 6th, making up the manufacturing and insurrection and all the different lies they came up with and the way that they keep smearing us.
Yeah. Pelosi framing Trump by denying his repeated requests for the National Guard because he knew that more than 500,000 people were going to descend to call out a completely fortified election. Go to CISA.gov/rumor control because they'll tell you it was the only election in America's history that had zero fraud in it, because that's so believable. Continue, Blake.
Yeah, well, let's keep running this clip here.
They haven't been central to Republican electoral politics ever before, and I know because I've been studying this. But once you have radicalized one major party so that those are the preferences of the people who adhere to your party, the leaders interchange.
I don't know what she's talking about, like the radicals. It seems like the leftists have turned into radicals. They want to like take your kids away from parents so they can turn them into, transgenders if they think they're, if they're having a weird identity issue. I mean, these people have lost the plot over the years, and they think that classic Americana is somehow extreme now.
Here's a tip for understanding the left, Blake, the Democrats. Everything that they're saying is projecting. They're talking about how Barack Hussein Obama has radicalized the Democrat followers, the Democrat Party, the deep state adherents, the people who swallow this propaganda because of the Smith-Mundt Act that Obama pushed through. They swallow it and say, yes, sir, may I have another? She's talking about her own radicalized people. And she has to deflect and say the other side is doing exactly what they are doing. That's the only way to understand her gibberish. Let her go.
Changeable. And yes, Trumpism is sometimes what we call it. MAGA movement is probably a better way to do it. But there is an authoritarian movement inside Republican politics that isn't being bamboozled.
What is authoritarian? I just want her to explain. Can they give us an example of what?
Yes, an example would be like when you spy on an incoming president's campaign. Oh, wait, that was Barack Hussein Obama that did that to Trump. That's what the deep state did to Trump. When you frame him for insurrection, when you frame him for impeachment twice, wait, that's what they did to Trump. It's everything that they have done and are currently doing. That's what she's talking about. She's just trying to blame the other side for what they're doing, what they're actively doing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yes, I think you're absolutely right. It is projection.
By Trump. They are pushing Trump to get more and more extreme because the more extreme things he says, the more they adhere to him. And that is coming from a very large proportion of the American right that adheres to the Republican Party. And that's why this is a Republican Party problem more than it is the problem of one man and his leaders.
They're terrified of having to face consequences for their actions over the years.
And that's what Obama's spouse said in an interview last week, right? She said she's terrified of what could come next. Well, you damn well better be after overthrowing a president, staging a coup. You damn well better be terrified. By the way, go to CISA.gov/rumor control because they think none of that happened. They want those countervailing views there. However, Time Magazine bragged about it because they couldn't help patting themselves on the back for what they did in 2020. So, okay, extremist MAGA Republicans are the biggest threat to democracy, Blake. You would disagree.
I am going to disagree with that. Yes, that's insane. Right. It's projection. It's weird. They have no examples. They sit there and shriek about it. But what do they exactly mean about that?
Who the heck even knows?
So that's no jab, no job. All of the crazy, wacky authoritarian things the left has done, and then they're saying that MAGA are somehow the authoritarian extremists. It's bizarre. It makes no sense, but in their minds, I guess it does. So let's take a look at this one. Wondering what the rise of fascism after the Trump landslide. What else? I'm going to see if this is the same clip. I'm actually not 100%.
And the big picture takeaway from that, and I don't mean to be, again, too dark, as you said, on this, but it is not, if we are worried about the rise of authoritarianism in this country, we're worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Which Trump was in office for 4 years. I don't remember the fascist authoritarian government. I don't remember. Yes.
I remember the part where he trusted Fauci a little too much because that guy had been in government for I don't know how many decades, and he was supposed to be someone that was for the apolitical. However, he weaponized the healthcare, the national health situation. You know, that was probably the most authoritarian thing.
Yeah, so let's take a look at what's the President Trump. I haven't seen this video either. Let's check.
If the fake news would become real and honest news, 90% of our problems in this country would be solved. They would be solved.
Yeah, these people are these hacks, flacks, and lackeys. They are bought and paid for. They are regime propagandists now. They're not in any way like independent journalists. So they are just defending their deep state, defending the establishment, defending the status quo. Rachel Maddow is a poster child of that. Bad news, and she's just blatantly lying, and she's freaking out, projecting, what have you. Okay, well let's why don't we switch topics here, Brian? What do we got? About 20 more minutes.
Yes,
let's
we do.
Roll the next one. How? I think we both hit that at the same time.
Probably. All right, Blake, agree or disagree that Vivek Ramaswamy is being deceitful and definitely not MAGA?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm going to disagree for now, but I will admit that I could absolutely be wrong. And this was a controversy going up in the couple days. And I actually was thinking this show today, I was like, I'm going to call it, Cult 45. Because it was, I noticed the extreme meltdown yesterday with Twitter influencers. People like freaked out because people like Vivek Ramaswamy. And according to a lot of the MAGA purists, you have to be 100% pro-Trump or you are just persona non grata. And I thought that was very unfair. And I think it's dangerous to go, too overboard with that stuff. There is a place for Vivek. I think he's a rising star. Yes, he's got some things that he has to answer to, but I think he's done a very good job of addressing a lot of the controversy surrounding him and having him give explanations on those things.
And I think about addressing something. Let me just address the Cult 45 thing. I never felt like the Trump situation was the cult that people liked to say that it was. I think after the way he's been framed for an insurrection, the way that he was framed for multiple impeachments, the way that he's been framed and lambasted and lied about repeatedly over and over, I feel like there is no other choice but then to do what Marshall Mathers said. Put one of those fingers on each hand up and be proud to be out of your mind and out of control. And one more time, loud as you can, here does it go. It's throw your middle fingers up. At some point, you just go, well, even if I wasn't going to support Trump, I have to now. Like the way you guys are doing all of this, I will not let you win. You will never win, but after what you did to him. I've seen it. I've watched it over and over, and nobody has been this mistreated, this framed, this set up. I've never seen it before. So the cult of Trump is something that they created. This wasn't here 4 years ago. People like Trump, and Trump did a lot of great things. And a lot of people think he won in a landslide in 2020. But you know what? I think the pure adherence to sticking with him now, that's where Ron DeSantis lost me forever. Because you got to read the room, Ronnie. You got to read the room. They're coming after the best line that Trump has is they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I just happen to be in the way. Read the room, Ronnie. Like, this isn't your time. It's time for Trump to come back. Period. That's it. In a nutshell. So if they want to talk about cultish behavior, they created it. You want to know how I learned how I learned this? I learned it by watching you, okay? It's that This Is Your Brain on Drugs commercial from the 80s. You know? You want to know how I became a cult member? I did it because of watching MSNBC. I got tired of your shit. All you do is lie to me. I learned it from watching you. So there, they can put it in their pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, all right, I agree. But let's take a look at just some of the examples that I was going to go scorched earth on, but maybe I won't because it's over. Vivek is done. He's gone. But I mean, Laura Loomer, who I like on a lot of stuff, and sometimes she can just be toxic and over the top. And this is her going after the influencers because Benny Johnson, he works for Blaze, right? I think.
I think he's independent.
But he's got 2 million viewers. I thought he worked for one of those bigger outlets. I thought he was in the Blaze, but maybe I'm wrong. But she called him out. Why did you delete this tweet? Screenshots are forever. Way to be disloyal to Trump. I won't forget this. Really nice of you to stab him in the back after you bragged about having dinner with him at Mar-a-Lago. Despicable. So it's like, can't you like multiple candidates? Do you have to just have 100% loyalty to one, or you're going to be absolutely shunned? You're going to be a pariah, persona non grata. You're going to have your career destroyed because you dared to have a little photo op and a little fun with Vivek on the campaign trail. Big deal. He's also a MAGA. Here's another guy I see all the time on Twitter who is a 100% Cult 45 MAGA supporter, Vince Langman, saying, I wish somebody loved me as much as Benny Johnson loves Vivek Ramaswamy, another phony grifter. Because what? He wanted to go have beer and fried chicken with Vivek? You know, Brian, I'm on Trump's side, but I mean, if we were in Iowa for these events, I'd love to cover all the different angles.
That's what it's going to take to actually win this war.
Whatever, Nimarata or whatever her name is, I don't care. I'm just going to go cover it and have fun wherever it is. Go have a little chicken, you know, rub shoulders with some of the people, get a feel of what's going on, enjoy the time on the campaign trail. So people were like, yeah.
That's literally what we did at the RNC in 2016. We literally had fried chicken and barbecue with Larry Elder. Like yeah. Just you're rubbing elbow, like you're just meeting people and you're breaking bread. You're having conversations. It's just, you know, it was interesting seeing Candace Owens going so full throated in support of Vivek Ramaswamy. I found that curious.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple from her. I don't have one of them, but yeah, they were going after her too. Here's another one from Vince. You know, there's nothing like the Iowa caucuses to show who the real Trump supporters are on X and who are the grifters looking to make money off of MAGA. And you look at this Vince Langman. I don't have a personal issue. Maybe I should just unfollow him because he's kind of a dick and he doesn't follow me back. So anyway, but yes, it's always the ex-con deplorable. He's got 90-some thousand tweets and he's running ads on his account. So doesn't that make him kind of a grifter? And he's just 100% pro-Trump no matter what. But yes, we do have Candace Owens praising Vivek, classy campaign, run with the best work ethic I've ever seen. As I've said for some time, you have my support. I hope you stay in politics. You are the future of the Republican Party. And it was an honor to stand by you as more people learn about your vision. I think this is bold. I really like Candace Owens, and I think it's great that I think Vivek is the future. You know, Brian, if I could script it, I would have Trump win the presidency, have Vivek as the VP, Trump serve 2 years, clean up what he wanted to do, get everything he wanted to be done accomplished, and then he can go off and go golf and go retire, and he can, whatever, enjoy his retirement if he wants to, or he can stay his term, but then hand the reins to Vivek. I think that would be great to pass it off. But I don't feel like, just because I like Vivek, I'm bad news. Yeah.
That role used to be Ronnie D's. It was like, well, he's doing good stuff in Florida. Like, he's the heir apparent. And man, did he blow his chance by coming after Trump. It's like, he's taken enough pot shots from enough people. You don't need a circular firing squad from your own team. Like keep your problems in house. They didn't do that. And Ronnie D just burned his bridges. It's such a shame. I thought he was going to be the easy heir apparent, but apparently not.
No, they convinced him to go now, and yes, he kind of ruined it for it. Now I think it's going to go to Vivek, and here's Scott Adams saying, addressing the Vivek rumors, because so many people were just like the hate on the guy. It's like, people aren't like anti-Trump. We also like Vivek, and he's done some great stuff. I mean, all the highlights we saw, during the debates that were fantastic, and he should be promoting himself. He is an up and coming superstar. But that doesn't mean that we got to bash the guy, that he's a grifter trying to like undermine Trump or what have you. And so they keep putting out some of these rumors about how he's World Economic Forum, or he's too smart, or he's the Manchurian candidate. He's reminds us of Obama, so he's going to be just like Obama. I don't know if all of that stuff is true. It could be. Otherwise, he is the total just a total psychopath who just wants to grab the reins of power, and he's going to bamboozle the American people, and he's going to be the Antichrist. I have no idea. He seems like a good guy, well-intentioned, and he seems receptive. He addresses the criticisms, and I like what he's doing, and I'd like to see him go on. But I'm not going to be in a cult for anybody. So
Jocelyn says she does like Vivek for how he repeatedly reminded corporate media that they're the largest spreaders of disinformation by far. Rick Norman says Ronnie D shined too early. Yes, he did. What you got in the fridge? Some OJ purple stuff. Ooh, Ronnie D. Yeah, let's put it back in the fridge. And then Kenneth B says Ronnie gets a D. There you go. Well done. Okay. Do you have anything else to add on this? We only have 2 minutes left, but we were going to cover Gonzalo Lira. And
oh yeah, we got 12 minutes left. All right, let's see. Yes, let's move on. Let's jump. We already got Vivek. Oh wait, just real quick, Brian, what do you think of this poll here? I found this one. Who should be Trump's VP? Final four. As you can see, I did vote for Vivek. I don't think Tucker Carlson is going to run. The other ones are Kari Lake and Rand Paul. I would be thrilled with any of these candidates. So I don't, it's really a hard call. I think we should take Tucker out of the equation because he's not going to do it.
I don't know that Tucker wouldn't do it. I know it's not on his radar, and he's
not. He's already said he's not. He's great as a journalist. Let's let him do where he's strong at. Why make him a VP? It doesn't make any sense. It's taking him out of his comfort zone. It should be Kari Lake or Rand Paul or Vivek. I think those three. Who would you take?
Look, well, I'm not as hardline as you are by writing Tucker out. I think if you're asked by the president, especially this president in this time, to help save the country, I think you'd be a fool to turn down the opportunity. I would like to see someone with libertarian leanings. Somebody with libertarian credentials. I'm tired of arguing with my friends that are just like, I'm not even voting, and I don't like Trump, and I'm like, sure, then give it to the Dems. It's like, well, I'm libertarian, and nobody's. So I would love to see somebody with libertarian credentials. I don't know who has the most pristine libertarian credentials these days. This dude I'm talking with, he even said Rand Paul's
5, 4, 3. Who are you voting for, Brian? There are no wrong answers. It's a tough poll.
I don't know, man. Kari Lake's interesting. Even Tulsi Gabbard's interesting. I don't know.
She's not on the list, Brian. She's on that. Oh, those 4, and you can vote for Tucker. Who are you taking? You get to pick Trump's running mate. Who is it?
Why is that the only poll? I don't know.
That's the one that's there.
Rand Paul.
Okay.
But I'd hate to lose him in Congress. How about Kari Lake? Because I think she was shafted out of her position.
Okay, yeah, that's a solid ticket, man. I don't think you can go wrong with any of those choices, but I think Vivek and Kari Lake are the two best.
I get your point. I wouldn't want to take Tucker off the board. He's already doing what he's doing, and he's doing it well. I don't want to take Rand Paul off the board. He's already got a position, and he's doing it well, better than most. So, the other two, like, what are they doing? I don't know. They're running. Just not running. So anyway, something like that. Maybe even Tulsi Gabbard. So anyway, we shall see. Trump was hinting at having his VP selected already. So let's see. I hope he announces very soon so we can get more people campaigning for Trump and just stop this stupid GOP process here. There's a time and a place for primaries. This ain't it, Jack. This ain't it. All right. Let's move on to a story that's very disheartening. I think that's a new stinger. I don't think I saw that one before.
Yeah, it's been up there before. I do have a few new ones. I don't know if I'll be able to. We'll have to switch the folder, which is going to eliminate the background. And they need some tuning up. I don't know if I like them all. They're kind of short, but here we go. It's a lame corporate jingle. And then we have another quick one. One last one. Yeah, all right. I like that one. Okay.
Like, anyway. They're all great. They're all great, but you're begging me to stay focused and stay on track and move. I'm moving, right. And you're dragging me off.
I know. I'm holding it up. All right, let's see.
I'm trying like hell. I didn't even have an intro. I just jumped to our first story. So we were.
Well, we're trying to get this into a 90 minutes, no more. Just a fluff. Try to just completely focus, but we can still have fun and goof off. But we're trying to get it within a 90-minute framework. So we have a nice, good archive and everything for the show going forward. But we'll see. Okay, so
and
Brian,
I think our shows are fantastic as is, but
they are. But I just don't want to. Yeah, if we can keep them in the 60 to 90 minute range, I think that's the sweet spot. I don't think it's possible for us to get it under 60, but 90 is definitely doable. So
Blake, agree or disagree that the State Department wanted journalist Gonzalo Lira to die in a Ukrainian prison?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not like they said, yeah, we want him to die there, but they did nothing to try to help him. So it was certainly, we're supposed to protect our American citizens. We gave, I don't know, shitloads of billions of dollars to Ukraine. And if it was anybody else, and like almost just about anybody else, and said, hey, we're not going to give you $1 billion unless you, release this prisoner of yours. They could have absolutely gotten that done, but they wanted him out of the way. But he died, unfortunately. It's a horrible thing. He was really turned out to be one of my favorite journalists in the last couple of years. He's been around a while. I wasn't familiar with him until he started reporting on Ukraine versus Russia from Kharkiv. Inside of Ukraine, and he did a fantastic job. He's very smart, he's wise, he's funny, he's a great character, and unfortunately he became a problem for the regime, and they had him locked up. He was a political prisoner. They could have released him, but they didn't, and they made no effort to. And as according to him, even Victoria Nuland, they wanted him gone. And so I don't know if he was refused medical attention. I know he had health issues, but I think that was probably a longer term issue, whether he had cancer or something like that. But I believe he died from pneumonia. That could have been fixed. Yes, he was a smoker, but he could have been given better medical treatment, and he deserved to come back home. He didn't deserve to be rotting away in a Ukrainian prison. And Elon Musk condemned the U.S. State Department for not lifting a finger to secure Gonzalo Lira's release.
And he's an American journalist. He's an American Chilean.
Yeah.
So America and Chilean, one of my, not residency, the citizenship. I guess his big mistake was not being a lesbian basketball player. Because if so, the Biden administration would have moved heaven and earth to bring him back.
Yeah, or that twisted trans journalist, Sarah Ashton Cirillo, who was also very vocal and wanted him to be locked up. All of the quote Russian propagandists. So she did some evil stuff over there. But yes, he was a good guy. He didn't deserve this. American imprisoned in Ukraine for criticizing the Zelensky regime has died. Who was tortured, who was imprisoned in Ukraine, abandoned by the government, 55 years old. Even Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk, even with all of the people, the prominent names, saying, please, let's do something for this guy. And nothing was done. So the State Department just let him die over there. They wanted it to happen. And they got it, I guess, sooner than expected. Now they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about the pressure being put on them. It's a damn tragedy, and he was a hero. So rest in peace, Gonzalo. And it's also kind of a chill factor. So Brian, I mean, if one of us, like if I love my country, but I'm very obviously critical of some of the leadership in charge. I think we've got a major corruption problem, obviously, and this could happen to anybody. So this is just kind of this, this warning. If it can happen to Gonzalo, it will happen to other people, depending on your political views on whether you'll be they'll make any kind of effort to come get you. So,
yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of pin the tail on Russia that was going on to try to start a potential nuclear World War III with them. Just pretty ridiculous on every aspect. And so, when truth telling, well, what the hell is that Orwell quote? Truth telling becomes a revolutionary act when lies and anyway, but
yeah, in a world of lies and deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act, something like that. That's pretty close.
And I mean, you don't have to like Vladimir Putin at all. You don't have to think he's a good guy. You don't have to like Russia. You don't have to give a shit about Russia to see that this is a completely manufactured AstroTurf war. This is money laundering in Ukraine, and Biden is elbows deep in it. So, you know, to be a journalist covering this, I mean, we need more people holding truth to the people allegedly in power that are trying to start these international conflicts. They say, I mean, they say it's like a meat grinder. They're just taking all of the Ukrainian men and just shoving them into a meat grinder and tossing them into body bags, getting blown up over there in Russia. For what? For fucking what?
So that they could stay in power. They've already suspended elections. There is no democracy there.
There's nothing democratic about Ukraine.
Yep.
Like, has anyone given a reason why we're supposed to care about what's going on over there, let alone why we're supposed to pick a side, let alone why we're supposed to pick a side with the guy that's teaming up with Nazi battalions, who's suspending elections and killing journalists? I'm waiting to hear it, because that's the puppet regime that Obama Biden put in there in 2013, 2014. That means what? Elections and coups have consequences. This would have never happened if Trump was still in office. In the repercussions of this, Blake, that makes it, once again, back to that previous point we were mentioning. That's why people are in a cult for 45 right now. It's because the stakes are huge. There are no more men that they can shove in the meat grinder in Ukraine. They're bringing 40, 50, and 60-year-old men into the military.
Yeah.
It's just insane, and humanity needs to be doing better than this. And so Gonzalo Lira was just trying to, as far as I can tell, he was trying to tell the truth about it. Jocelyn says he was an American citizen, but the Biden administration clearly supported his imprisonment and torture and killing. So, damn it all. You know, we were covering this story, and damn it, it played out exactly how we were hoping it wasn't going to.
Yeah, I was hopeful that he would eventually be returned safe and sound. And they could even put a gag order on him. Do something. Make it so he can't embarrass the administration anymore. Anything. But this is, I don't recognize this part of my country anymore. We always tried to be the good guys around the world and, keep our citizens out of, filthy foreign jails as political prisoners if we could. And there was no effort made whatsoever. So they got rid of one of their biggest critics over there. And I'm sure Victoria Nuland's happy. And we'll see if there's ever any consequences for some of these people that have ruined this country.
Yeah, we need to follow people that are holding them to account for this situation in the State Department. We need to make sure we follow up on this a little more than ever. All right, one more topic, and we're going to be out of here.
Okay.
All right, Blake, do you agree or disagree that we should punish parents for bitching about immigrants housed in schools? Do you agree or disagree that we should punish parents for bitching about illegal aliens housed in schools?
Absolutely not. This is insane. But yes, this principle, of course, is under fire. This was a school in New York that closed for a day so it could house illegal immigrants, has hit out at parents who were not happy with the decision. There were angry parents protesting their children being sent home from James Madison High School so that 2,000 illegal immigrants could sleep in the gymnasium. Some parents were even asked to stop filming. They're doing a lot of that. Oh, you know what, Brian? And I forgot one of those major stories. There's so many of them. Was Elon put a highlight on this too. It was in Ireland that people are going to be getting in trouble for having memes, for sharing memes. Did we see that? Do we have to put one more? I mean, this is just kind of we don't really need to go into too much detail on this, but it's amazing that we're rolling out the red carpet for putting out these illegal immigrants everywhere. There's nowhere to put
aliens.
Them. Illegal aliens. Sorry, yeah, absolutely. But now that you mention that, Brian, now I'm going to have to go find that last story. One more, even though it's not really an agree to disagree question.
But we did mention that with Ireland. Has Ireland fallen? And we talked about Gavin. What's his name? Gavin
Newsom.
Conor McGregor might run for president or prime minister of Ireland to take over, and how they're trying to put these draconian measures in place. I mean, look, we are so dangerously close to losing actual freedom as a species on this planet. I mean, anybody who's pushing this stuff, whether it's Ireland, our southern border, DC, Los Angeles, or elsewhere, like, it has to be resisted, because when it's gone, dude. We will not have a chance to live as free humans anymore. And that's frankly not a life. That is a caged animal when you don't have an opportunity to live. And this stuff has to be exposed, and it has to be stopped.
Yeah, and imagine this trying to bring this bill over here. They're going to probably test it over in Ireland to see if it works, because if the regime could get away with it, they would absolutely ban memes and mocking the government if they could get away with it. So they're going to do Ireland's a small population, small country. Maybe they're going to test it there and to see if they'll put up with it. So here we go.
The Irish government is proposing a law known as the Hate Speech Bill that threatens free speech. This law could have dire consequences for our democracy.
Next month, and then
this law will have uncertain effects on artistic and musical expression.
Please support us.
It could stifle the activity of public campaigning on political and civil issues, and also curtail speech relating to topics about religion, ethnicity, sex, and gender.
Well, so every topic that matters.
You could even be jailed for possessing documents, cartoons, or memes on your devices, even if you never read them or intended on sharing them.
Okay, I'm just going to pause it there, because I mean, it's probably the big highlight there anyway. So, you could have a meme. It's bad enough to just, share these memes mocking the government officials or what have you, but just to have them on your phone. Let's say you didn't share them, but you just thought it was funny. You got a giggle out of it. And so you downloaded it onto your phone, and you could just look through your pictures and see it. But even that would be illegal under this law. So you just have your own little private stash of memes to chuckle at. That is terrifying. So
there is no more humanity if stuff like this goes through. Humanity's toast.
Yeah, pretty much. Our way of life is over.
Dire. I'm not.
This is authoritarianism. Where's Rachel Maddow talking about this outrage? I don't see it.
Because she plays for the bad guys. She's on the wrong team.
Absolutely.
And there is no time for mushy, in the middle shades of gray people anymore. If you're a mushy shade of gray person, deuces. I don't want you here. You're taking up valuable oxygen. That's how they talk about you. That's where the carbon, they want to reduce carbon emissions because they don't want worthless eaters, worthless breathers. They want you gone. So if you're not going to stand up in opposition to all of these globalists that are trying to push and pull you into this stuff, I have no time for you anymore. Pick a side. It's good versus evil, period. Pick a side. No more mushy shades of gray.
I agree. This could be over very quickly. Well, Brian, it's been delightful. I don't think we have anything more.
Okay.
We almost met our goal. I think we covered a lot of issues. We covered a lot of ground. We missed the 90-minute deadline, but I think that's good. We're only shortly over. So good job. Thank you, everybody. And we'll look forward to seeing what happens on Thursday, I suppose.
Tell people where they can find you, sir.
Oh, yeah. We'll run that clip for your promos. Okay, so yes, you can find me at TV's Blake Walley on Twitter X. And of course, the archive is also on the nextlevelnews.com. And then, Brian, let me pull up your new promo thingy. You can add whatever you want. Let's see. Let's find it. It's too bad that's not an actual overlay, but we can run it while we're talking. But maybe we'll put a scroll bar down there because Brian's got a lot of places and such. So we'll keep continuing, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I appreciate every one of you for watching us today. We'll post this to Rumble and Spotify. Subscribe to our podcast, please, on Spotify, the Agree to Disagree show. And we will see you on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Jocelyn says the time just flies when there's so much to talk about with the Next Level News. I look forward to the next show.
Thanks, everybody. We'll look forward to having you. Peace out. We'll see you Thursday. All right.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.